Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless Y&R spoilers update for the week of December 22nd to 26th reveals that there will be some enraging discoveries, romantic shakeups, and some Christmas magic. Some excitement is on the way in Genoa City, so let's talk about what's in store. First, Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, will shut down Claire Newman's, Haley Aaron, complaints about his actions against Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Victor will mostly just want to talk about Holden Novak's, Nathan Owens' terrible reputation and how Claire should stay away from him. Since there's more drama ahead for the Abbotts, Victor will feel like Claire should keep her distance from them too. Before Claire learns about Nikki Newman's, Melody Thomas Scott, threats to leave her marriage, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, will receive updates. When Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, learns that Nikki promised to leave Victor unless he gave up the AI program, he will be particularly shocked. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, will seem like he's losing the desire to keep fighting for Claire. After so many setbacks, Kyle will be weary and consider the possibility that his relationship is over for good. During a conversation with Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, she'll have some advice for Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland. Diane and Jack will eventually share a wonderful Christmas, allowing them to temporarily ignore the Newman chaos. As for Victor, he'll get a lesson about the meaning of the holiday. The same goes for Nikki, so maybe some Christmas magic will leave them with a little hope for a new chapter. In the meantime, Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, will deal with another captivity crisis thanks to Annie Stewart, Catherine Kresge, and her continued alliance with Twisted Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth. Noah Newman, played by Lucas Adams, will want to save Sienna, but Nick Newman, played by Joshua Morrow, might prevent him from rushing back into danger. The traps that Nick's been setting for Matt will come in handy and set the stage for more fierce face-offs soon enough. On another note, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will fume over a discovery involving Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. After Lily spies Phyllis and Kane looking way too close, she might wash her hands of Kane all over again. Other Y&R spoilers say Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, will put their children first this Christmas. Victoria will take Johnny Abbott, Paxton Mishkind, and Katie Abbott, Sienna Mercury, to Billy's place so Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, will land in the middle of all that family togetherness. Y&R will air a Christmas repeat from 2010 on Thursday, December 25th, but the show will be back with a brand new episode on Friday, December 26th. That's when Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, will back Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, into a corner with an ultimatum, presumably regarding their future at Newman Media. Sally will also divulge some information that Jack and Billy could use to their advantage while Lauren Finmore Baldwin, Tracy Bregman, counsels Michael Baldwin, Christian LeBlanc. Michael will wonder whether he should help the Abbotts in their fight against Victor and end this AI threat. Since it'd mean double-crossing Victor and could provoke his fury, going against him would come with major risks. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lauren will help Michael figure out what to do, so stay tuned for news on his decision. As Christmas week settles over Genoa City, the tension beneath the twinkling lights and carefully wrapped gifts grows almost unbearable, because this is not a season of peace for the residents of Y&R's most powerful families. It is a season of reckoning. The Newman-Abbott war, already simmering at a dangerous boil, threatens to explode in ways that could permanently alter alliances, romances, and family bonds that have taken decades to build. Victor Newman, as always, remains the immovable force at the center of the storm, but even the Black Knight may find that the holiday spirit has a way of humbling even the most ruthless titan. As the week unfolds, every character is forced to confront what and who they are willing to sacrifice in the name of love, loyalty, ambition, or survival. Victor's conversation with Claire Newman is more than a simple warning. It is a calculated attempt to control her future before she fully understands the stakes of the game she's standing in. Victor doesn't merely dismiss Claire's objections to his vendetta against Jack Abbott, he bulldozes them, framing his actions as necessary, inevitable, and ultimately protective. In Victor's mind, Jack Abbott is not just a rival but a corrosive influence, a man whose proximity poisons everything he touches. By linking Jack to Holden Novak's unsavory reputation, Victor reinforces a narrative where the Abbotts represent chaos and danger, while the Newmans, despite their moral compromises, are portrayed as the lesser evil. Claire, caught between generations and legacies she never asked to inherit, feels the weight of Victor's expectations pressing down on her, even as her heart pulls her in another direction. The irony is that Victor's attempt to shield Claire from heartbreak may be the very thing that drives her toward it. Kyle Abbott, already exhausted by months of emotional whiplash, begins to show visible cracks in his resolve. His love for Claire hasn't disappeared, but it has been battered by constant interference, manipulation, and a sense that no matter how hard he fights, the odds remain stacked against him. Kyle's internal struggle is quietly devastating. This is a man who wants peace, stability, and a future built on trust, yet finds himself trapped in a feud that predates his own birth. When he confides in Diane Jenkins Abbott, it becomes clear that Kyle is standing at a crossroads. Continue fighting for a relationship that may never be free of family warfare, or walk away before it costs him what remains of his emotional strength. Diane, ever the strategist cloaked in maternal concern, listens carefully, knowing that every word she offers could ripple through multiple lives. At the same time, she turns her attention to Tracy Abbott, whose quiet wisdom often serves as the moral compass of the family. Diane's advice to Tracy carries a subtle urgency, urging her to remain vigilant and emotionally grounded as tensions escalate. Tracy understands better than anyone that when the Abbotts and Newmans clash, collateral damage is inevitable, and often deeply personal. Amid the chaos, Diane and Jack's shared Christmas becomes a rare oasis of warmth, a moment where laughter, memory, and genuine affection briefly eclipse the corporate battles and emotional betrayals waiting just outside their door. Yet even as Jack enjoys this fleeting peace, the shock of Nikki Newman's ultimatum lands like a thunderclap. Learning that Nikki threatened to leave Victor unless he abandoned the AI program forces Jack to reconsider the battlefield entirely. This isn't just about business anymore. It's about the fragile state of a marriage that has survived countless wars but now stands on uncertain ground. Nikki's threat reveals cracks in Victor's armor that few have ever dared to exploit, and Jack knows that knowledge itself is a powerful weapon. Still, there's no triumph in this revelation. Only a sobering awareness that everyone involved is standing on emotional fault lines that could rupture without warning. Victoria Newman, meanwhile, becomes the reluctant messenger, absorbing updates that only deepen her own conflicted feelings. As both a daughter and a corporate leader, Victoria is perpetually torn between familial loyalty and pragmatic judgment. Nikki's desperation, Victor's stubbornness, and the escalating consequences of the AI war force Victoria to question whether the Newman legacy she's fought so hard to protect is worth the personal cost it continues to extract. Her decision to prioritize her children this Christmas, bringing Johnny and Katie to Billy's place, is more than a gesture of goodwill. It's an act of quiet rebellion against the cycle of bitterness that has defined her adult life. Billy Abbott, for his part, meets this moment with an unexpected sense of maturity. The chaos that once fueled his recklessness now seems distant as he focuses on creating a stable, loving environment for his kids. Sally Spectra's presence during this family gathering adds another layer of complexity, as she finds herself navigating the emotional residue of relationships past and present. Sally observes the Abbott-Newman dynamics from an outsider's perspective, her sharp instincts picking up on undercurrents others might miss. And when she later divulges critical information that Jack and Billy could use against Victor, it becomes clear that Sally is no longer content to be a passive observer. She's ready to influence the game in meaningful ways. While corporate wars and romantic uncertainties dominate one side of Genoa City, a far darker storyline unfolds elsewhere, where Sienna Bacall's nightmare deepens under the control of Annie Stewart and the twisted presence of Matt Clark, also known as Mitch Bacall. This captivity crisis strips away any illusion of safety, replacing it with raw fear and urgency. Sienna's resilience is tested as she fights to maintain hope in a situation designed to break her spirit. Noah Newman's instinct to rush in and save her speaks to his deep compassion and lingering hero complex, but Nick Newman's intervention underscores a painful truth. Bravery without strategy can be fatal. Nick's carefully laid traps for Matt suggest that justice, when it comes, will be calculated and merciless, a reckoning long overdue. The emotional stakes rise further when Lily Winters makes a discovery that threatens to unravel her already fragile trust in Kane Ashby. Spotting Kane and Phyllis Summers in a moment that feels far too intimate reopens wounds Lily thought had finally begun to heal. Phyllis, ever the lightning rod for chaos, once again finds herself at the center of a scandal that blurs the line between coincidence and betrayal. For Lily, this isn't just about appearances. It's about patterns, promises broken, and the exhaustion of giving second chances that never seem to lead anywhere. Her decision to possibly walk away from Kane again feels less like an impulsive reaction and more like an act of self-preservation. As Christmas Day approaches, the contrast between tradition and turmoil becomes sharper. Victor and Nikki, both forced to confront the emotional wreckage left in the wake of their choices, receive unexpected reminders of what the holiday once meant to them. Whether through shared memories, quiet conversations, or the unspoken presence of family, there's a sense that Christmas magic might still have the power to soften even the hardest hearts. This doesn't mean instant forgiveness or miraculous resolutions, but it does open the door to reflection, humility, and perhaps the first steps toward a new chapter. The brief interruption of the holiday repeat on December 25th offers viewers a nostalgic pause, but the return of new episodes on December 26th hits fast and hard. Chelsea Lawson's ultimatum to Adam Newman forces him into a corner with no easy escape. Whether the issue is their future at Newman Media or something far more personal, Adam's response will reveal just how much he's willing to risk for control, love, or redemption. Chelsea, stronger and more self-assured than ever, refuses to be sidelined, making it clear that compromise is no longer optional. At the same time, Michael Baldwin faces a moral crossroads that could redefine his career and his relationships. Lauren Finmore Baldwin's counsel becomes invaluable, as Michael weighs the consequences of aiding the Abbotts against Victor's AI threat. Loyalty to Victor has defined much of Michael's professional life, but loyalty has a cost, especially when it conflicts with conscience. Helping the Abbotts could mean justice, balance, and a chance to prevent further harm, but it could also provoke Victor's legendary wrath. Lauren's guidance doesn't offer easy answers, only clarity, reminding Michael that sometimes the greatest risk is doing nothing at all. By the end of the week, Genoa City stands transformed, not because its conflicts have been resolved, but because its characters have been changed by the choices they've made and the truths they've uncovered. Love has been tested, alliances strained, and futures thrown into question. And as the snow continues to fall, one thing becomes unmistakably clear. In The Young and the Restless, Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a crucible forging destinies that will echo far beyond the season itself. Jack reels over Nikki's bold move. Victoria fears the worst. The Young and the Restless Y&R spoilers update for Monday, December 22nd, reveals that Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, will reel over Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas Scott bold move, while Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, fears the worst when it comes to her parents' marriage. At the Newman Ranch, Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, will stop by looking for Victor Newman's Eric Braden side of the story after hearing from Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, and Nikki. Victor will say that Claire doesn't know the real Jack to justify his fight with Jack. After Victor changes the subject to Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, he'll object to Holden's bad reputation and push Claire to steer clear of him. Since he doesn't want Claire to get caught in the coming storm, Victor won't think that Claire should get involved with the Abbotts. Nikki will tell Victoria some shocking news at society. Victoria will be taken aback over Nikki going as far as threatening to leave Victor over his latest attack on Jack. On Monday's Y&R episode, Nikki will confess that Victor showed her the door, but she won't be willing to back down. When Victoria meets with Claire later, she will discuss all of this and will be concerned that Victor won't back down either. Concerns regarding Victor and Nikki's marriage will be felt by Victoria and Claire. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle will seem a bit down in the dumps since he'll have a wrapped present for Claire. It will be something Kyle bought previously, but now that they are no longer together, he won't know whether or not to give it to Claire. Although Kyle is on better terms with Claire lately, he'll still be upset over her thinking his past kind gestures were manipulative acts. Kyle won't want a repeat of that and will consider not giving Claire the gift. Concerning their relationship, Kyle won't like the limbo he's in. Since Claire embraced her wild side in LA and has been pulling away, Kyle will think maybe he should give up and accept they need a clean break. Jack will give Kyle some support before Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, walks in with updates on Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford demand. Phyllis wants the Abbotts to sign over Marchetti to Summer Newman, last played by Allison Lanier, so Jack will seem interested if it means getting Phyllis's help stealing the AI program. However, Jack will get a text from Nikki and hope that maybe she's managed to get her hands on the AI program instead. Once Jack joins Nikki at Society, she'll explain that she threatened to leave Victor if he didn't hand over the AI program. Nikki will appear to have had enough and Nikki will go that far to protect Jack, shocking Jack. Back with Victor, he'll contemplate his marriage issues as he sulks with a drink alone. Billy will inquire about Kyle's relationship with Claire after he finds her present under the Abbott's tree. Billy, who has been stepping up for the family and getting his life in order, will become Kyle's friend and he will attempt to change the subject. The Young and the Restless spoilers say there's much more drama to come for the Abbott clan, so stay tuned. Michael's traitor choice, Kane's crushing blow, Matt chaos gets worse. The Young and the Restless Y&R spoilers for the next 2 weeks, December 22nd to January 2nd, reveal that Michael Baldwin, Christian LeBlanc, will weigh his options as he faces a traitor choice. Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, will also be dealt a crushing blow while all the Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, chaos gets even worse. During the week of December 22nd to 26th, both Victor Newman, Eric Braden, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, will voice concerns about Claire Newman's Haley Aaron, linked to Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. In addition, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, will wonder if it's time to give up and accept that he and Claire no longer have a future together. As for Victor, he'll dig his heels in when it comes to targeting Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Victor will think Jack is the one who has charmed people into thinking he is a good guy, but Claire won't like this nasty side of her grandfather. Now that Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, has threatened to leave Victor if he doesn't give her the AI program, the news will spread to Victoria, Claire and Jack. While everyone buzzes about the possibility of Victor and Nikki divorcing, there will be more Matt drama to contend with. Because Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, was kidnapped by Annie Stewart, Catherine Kresge, and Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, was attacked, Noah will plan with Nick and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, to ensure Sienna's safety. While Nick tries to force a move from Matt, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will reel after discovering Kane and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, in a rather compromising position. Kane may become frustrated as a result of yet another obstacle in their pursuit of rekindling their romance, if that results in Lily unleashing her rage. In the end, Christmas Eve will arrive in Genoa City, allowing Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, to appreciate their blessings in spite of Victor's madness. They will gain some insight into the true meaning of Christmas from Victor and Nikki over there. Even if they can't work through their conflict yet, Nikki and Victor will at least get a reminder about the power of love this holiday season. When Victoria invites Johnny Abbott, Paxton Mishkind, and Katie Abbott, Sienna Mercury, over for some tree trimming fun, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, will be there with them at Billy Abbott's house. On Thursday, December 25th, the show will air a classic episode from 2010. On Friday, December 26th, they will air a brand new episode. After Sally uncovers some intel that Jack and Billy could use to their advantage, she'll fill them in. Sally will also clash with Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, who'll eventually land on the receiving end of Chelsea Lawson's, Melissa Claire Egan, ultimatum. Chelsea may threaten to leave Newman Media unless Adam starts putting his foot down on stories that cross the line. Chelsea might think that Adam should just leave the business with her because he might argue that there is no way he can fight back against Victor. Chelsea may make it clear that she will walk if they continue to be Victor's puppets, even if Adam is unwilling to do so. At the coffee house, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Tracy Bregman, will help Michael decide whether he's willing to double-cross Victor and try to shut down his AI threat for good. The week of December 29th to January 2nd will bring more Matt confrontations and some Sienna updates. Nick won't rest until Matt is either behind bars or in a grave, but he'd honestly prefer the latter. But before his time in Genoa City is up, Matt will carry out some troubling plans. It seems like Matt's just getting started, and will have some scary power plays that'll affect multiple Newman family members. Since New Year's Eve is just around the corner, that could bring some parties and midnight kisses around town. The show will air a 1998 encore episode on Thursday, January 1st, but they'll resume the current action with a new episode on Friday, January 2nd. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will be packed with drama, so stay tuned. Phyllis's next monster crisis. Matt forces hacker into Victor revenge scheme? The Young and the Restless YNR spoilers hint that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, could face her next monster crisis. Will Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, force the hacker into his Victor Newman, Eric Braeden revenge scheme? It would be simple for Matt to listen in on conversations now that he is back in Genoa City. Matt might overhear Phyllis making her agreement with the Abbotts. Fans of YNR are aware that during her meeting with Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, Phyllis made one straightforward request. In exchange for stealing the AI program back from Victor, Phyllis expects the Abbotts to sign over Marchetti to Summer Newman, last played by Allison Lanier, so that the company's entirely her own. Perhaps Phyllis will meet with Billy once more or sit down with Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Get this deal in writing. Phyllis might score proof that it's happening before taking the next steps to gain the upper hand on Victor. If Matt gets updates on the situation, he might see a golden opportunity. Since Victor used this AI program to wipe out Matt's finances, his ears would certainly perk up if he heard Phyllis was going to do some hacking and get it back. Matt could easily take control of this plot and decide that Phyllis will steal it for him instead of the Abbotts. Matt won't pass up the opportunity to threaten Victor with the same program if it comes up. Phyllis might be forced to do his dirty work by Matt with a gun, or even Matt might threaten her children and grandchildren. Despite the fact that Phyllis hasn't fully recovered from the trauma of being held hostage by Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins, she may now add another traumatic experience to her list. Matt might drag Phyllis into his scheme against Victor and the Newmans, so she could have some alarming news in her future. This AI program has the potential to empower monstrous Matt and cause even more chaos. Maybe Matt could use this as leverage to try and get his fortune back. Victor may warn Matt that he will restore everything he has lost or else his own empire will collapse. Of course, Matt would probably plan to burn it all down anyway in the end and make Victor suffer along with his family. Regardless, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Matt's going to make some wild moves against the Newman clan. So don't miss all the twists and turns. Lily catches Kane and Phyllis. The Young and the Restless YNR spoilers for Tuesday, December 23rd, reveal that Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will catch Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, in a close moment while Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow traps Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth.